Welcome to Kevin's Covers. Today we're going to be taking a look at a classic song by the Jackson 5 called I Want You Back. This particular arrangement is very strongly based on a solo acoustic arrangement that I saw Katie Tunstall do. So all credit to her. If you don't know her music, I strongly suggest that you give her a look. I'm particularly impressed with her solo acoustic work. But we're going to be taking a look at my arrangement. I have changed it somewhat from what she does, actually rather extensively. So it's a great song to play if you're busking, if you're doing a solo gig. It really gets people going. So I rate this pretty challenging as songs go to do this solo acoustic arrangement, but it's worth it. It's very impressive. You'll get a good response.
To myself, I didn't want you around. Those pretty faces always made you stand out in a crowd. Someone picked you from the bunch, and one glance was all it took. And now it's much too late for me to take a second look. Oh baby, give me one more chance to show you that I love you. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh, darling, I was wrong to let you go, baby. Now that I see you in his arms, I want you back. Yes, I do now. I want you back. Oh, honey, I want you back. Let me show you. I want you back. Well, trying to live without your love is like a one-on winter night. Let me show you, girl, that I know wrong from right. Every step you take, love, I leave tear stains on the ground. Following the girl I didn't even want around. Oh baby, give me one more chance to show you that I love you. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh darling, I was wrong to let you go, baby. Now that I see you in his arms, I want you back. Yes, I do now. I want you back. Oh, honey, I want you back. Let me show you. I want you back. Oh, darling, all I need is one more chance to show you that I love you. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Honey, I was wrong to let you go, baby. Now that I see you in his arms, I want you back. Yes, I do now. I want you back. Oh, honey, I want you back. Let me show you. I want you back. Oh, baby, I want you back.
All right, so that was I Want You Back. I'll show you exactly what I've done to this. And as I said in the introduction, this is very strongly based on Katie Tunstall's arrangement. I suggest you give that a look. She uses a lot of looping and stuff. I don't really use that kind of technology. But fundamentally, first of all, I'm doing the song in E. The Jackson 5 did it in, I don't remember, G sharp or something like that. But and obviously, I'm not singing it anywhere near the register of 12-year-old Michael Jackson. But anyway, I do it in E. I have to confess, it's a little bit low for me in E, at least given the notes that are sung here. But if I take it out of E, I can't use all these wonderful open strings. I've tried capoing it, but I always find that using a capo on a real strumming kind of song deadens things a little bit. And furthermore, as you saw in the performance, it does kind of go all over the neck and things get a little crowded up there. Otherwise, honestly, I'm more comfortable singing it in F sharp, but it just doesn't ring for me. So I do my best. But anyway, first of all, let's take a look at the basic structure of the verses, right? In terms of the chords. What are the chords? It's basically E, right? A, and then C sharp minor 7, G sharp minor 7, A, E, F sharp minor 7, B7, E. So the verses, we're doing that over and over and over. So we'll take that as kind of the starting point. So let's take a look at the intro, keeping in mind that basic chord progression. The intro, I actually used to start off just kind of diving right into the verse instrumentally. And it was a musician friend of mine, fantastic musician, you absolutely have to check out everything he does. He's recording as Barton Hartshorn right now. Check out his latest album. Anyway, and when he heard this particular version of it, he said, it's not recognizable right away. And if you're doing covers, it's good if people can recognize it right away. And I thought, yeah, he's right. So so I decided to start it out reminiscent of how it started out on the original album, right? So we have that. We just have this E up here. We're hitting the E octave as well, so that's just an E chord. Being sure not to hit the top two strings, right? Muffling it, making it kind of a funk intro, right? And then, fundamentally, let's never forget that we're just playing over that progression, right? E, A, C sharp minor 7, G sharp minor 7, A, E, F sharp minor 7, E. But, first of all, coming out of the intro, there's a couple of little guitar things in there. Anyway, I've replaced all that by doing this. Right? And then coming down into the thing. So we have our chord progression, we have our little intro, but now we get to the bass. Now the bass in this song is absolutely fantastic. It was done by something like Wilton Feld. I don't remember his name. You got to forgive me. He was a saxophone player primarily, but also played bass. If I remember correctly, the bass player also played the bass on Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On," which is fantastic. Anyway, I've been playing the bass in a rock cover band for these last few years. I have a few different bands and things that I play in. But anyway, I've been playing the bass in a rock cover band. I've really been getting into the bass. And it helps you to understand, even in doing solo acoustic work, how much you can get out of actually incorporating a bass line, the original bass line into what you're doing. So the bass line, as it was played for this, right, is more or less this. And as I play it, I'm sure you remember it, you recognize it. So now the question is, between these chords, how can we try to get that bass in? Well, this is what you can do. You can go. And I just love that. I think that just works, right? So let's take a look at it at speed, right? Now, I'd also point out in the intro and also in the instrumental part that I do, after that initial, there's this little bass riff. It's not exactly what he was playing, but actually it should be. I don't come back and hit that G sharp because it works just as much on the E and it gives you time to get up. So, right? So that gives you your verse with the actual bass line. And in the intro and in the instrumental interlude, I play the verse that way with that bass line. When I'm actually singing it, I don't play such an intricate bass line for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's bloody difficult when you're trying to sing. I mean, There's a number of songs that I can't sing when I'm playing the bass in the cover band. Believe me, when you play the bass in a rock band, you really start to appreciate people like Paul McCartney and Sting and so on who actually can sing and play the bass at the same time. I can do it for a lot of songs, but some songs that are too funky rhythmically, it's very difficult to do, and that makes it a bit of a problem. And secondly, even from a musical perspective and from an arrangement perspective, I find that if you actually play the bass while you're singing that over your solo acoustic stuff, it just distracts a little bit from the vocals. So when I'm actually singing over the verse, I don't do the whole bass line. I just play the verse like this. So you can see I add that G sharp minor 7 before the initial A, which I think Katie Tunstall does for that matter. She doesn't actually do the whole bass line thing. So there's two different versions here of actually just playing the verse. One bringing out the initial bass line, and the other without that bass line over the vocal. Right? Then we get to the chorus. Now the bass line on the chorus is wonderful, and it's just the descending E major scale, right? So come up to the B instead of going down to the E, right? So how can we do that, right? The actual chords here are E. So we're staying on the E. So A, come down and hit that G sharp with the third. Then I wrap around the thumb to get that F sharp, and then come up to get that B, right? So. Come back to C sharp minor 7. That stays the same. Put it all together and you got yourself the song. Now for the instrumental bit, I come back and pretty much just play the intro again, except that I'll repeat in the intro, you come out of this funky E, right? Play the verse once, including the bass line. Then go into the chorus, including the bass line, again without vocals, and then start singing. For the instrumental interlude, I actually play the verse twice instead of going into the chorus, and then come in singing on the chorus. I'd also point out that I don't include the whole kind of, bridge that the Jackson 5 did. I don't really think it works when there's just one of you and you're pushing 60 years old. But that's just me. You could easily arrange something around that, but I've always played it this way. And honestly, it really gets people going because they absolutely don't expect you to be doing the Jackson 5 when you're playing a solo acoustic gig or busking in the streets. And furthermore, it's a song that really gets people going. I found that it's been very successful for me. So I hope that you enjoyed that and that you'd like to give it a go. As I say, it is pretty challenging to do. I'm not even talking about the rhythmic elements of it. You just have to feel it and play around with muffling stuff and coming in and out of it. But if you have those basics down, and you practice it, you can just make it your own. And I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with it. So until next time, by the way, I've always forgotten in all the other videos to mention that please, if you find this useful, like it, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to do 2 or 3 songs a month this way, and hopefully there'll be stuff in here that you can use as well. And let me know what you think. And in the meantime, rock on.